Hey, what's up, everybody? Hobo Mackie here. Um, I don't know if you can hear the roasters crowing, but you probably hear them in a second. So you'll be able to tell it's one just went off. I don't know if you hear it, but anyway, it's morning here. A little bit foggy. I'm in Astor, Florida. I'm at the library right now. It's the first place I've found that has Wi-Fi. I'm trying to upload my videos that I had from my Ocala hiking trip. Um, I'm in a park too. There's a library and a park here. So it looks like they got baseball fields and a playground and a little shelter over there. I'm gonna go around looking for power. I've went all around the library and I haven't found any power outlets because I'd like to recharge my batteries. Um, and the library is not. It's not open on 2 days, and today is one of those days. So it's not going to be open. I would go in there and just charge up and use the Wi-Fi right in there. Kick around the library. Usually, little libraries like this are pretty unique and cool. Astor, Florida, it's kind of kind of real rural area. I think the population's like 1,000 or something here. It's not very big. It's mostly an outdoorsy fishing, hunting type of area. Um, So you'll see a lot of boats and there's a couple of biker bars, a lot of motorcycles. Right here next to the Ocala Forest. It's basically still halfway in the Ocala Forest. Um, but yeah, pretty cool little town. I kind of like it. Um, yeah. So somebody's asking me some questions. Lady Giselle, Lady Giselle, probably. Sorry. Um, she was asking. I'm not afraid of hypothermia, hunger, or bad people. I'm not afraid of hypothermia because I'm in Florida right now and it hasn't been getting below like 57 usually. I am worried about it if it gets to like 40 and raining. Cold and rainy is when you got to worry about it. And I do worry about it. That could be a potentially deadly situation. But I definitely, it is important to understand what to do in that situation. And um, basically, one thing I do is I check the weather before I go. I basically have I know where my outs are. I have outs, and I'll check the weather. If I know it's not going to get that cold and they're not really forecasting rain, then I'm probably not going to have to worry about hypothermia. Um, but if they're forecasting that it's going to get down to 40 degrees, which it did the other night, maybe like a week or two ago, it got down to 40. So I pretty much prepared myself for that. I got myself somewhere where I could have a fire, and I found an extra blanket, and so I had had a couple days. Like I knew it was going to get into the 40s that night, um, a week ahead of time. So that's when the weather showed it. Now a week ahead of time doesn't mean that it's going to be for sure in the 40s, but I already have a general idea that it might get cold or that cold weather is coming. So maybe I need to get to a location and start gathering supplies like a blankets or get myself to a place where I can have a fire. Um, and so, and being in Florida, I really don't have to worry about hypothermia. I mean, I can get really miserably cold, but I don't think I'm going to die. They say, I think that you can get hypothermia in 60 or 70-degree weather with it raining. I just don't think I would. Um, First of all, what I would do is just start walking and start like basically almost like running or just hiking really fast. And get my energy going. Like if I was in the rain and it's cold and I'm in a hypothermic situation, or if I was sleeping in the middle of the night and it just started raining on me and I didn't have a tarp, I would get up and throw all my stuff in the bag as quickly as possible, zip the bag up, throw it on my back, and then start walking for shelter. You know, um, just start walking. That would warm me up. and at the same time, I'm looking for shelter. So I find shelter, then I can get out of my wet clothes, and then I can continue to exercise in the shelter, like do push-ups and that kind of thing if I needed to. Now these are all extreme situations, which normally I haven't ran into a horribly bad situation because I'm always looking ahead and I'm always checking the weather. And when if I know it's going to be a cold and rainy day, um, I will figure something out. I mean, last resort, and I haven't never had to do this, but I would get a motel room, $50 or whatever it is, um, just for that one miserable night. But like I said, most of the time here in Florida, I don't have that problem, and I don't go. I've been avoiding the cold weather lately. Now, if I go north and I know I'm going into cold weather, then I'm gonna make sure I have the right supplies for that. Then you need maybe a good coat or at least a good sleeping bag at the minimum, and then probably both. And I'd be prepared for it. But one of my strategies right now is just to stay where it gets on an average of about 60 at night, 65 or something. Um, so hunger. No, I always make sure I carry enough food with me. Bad people, I do worry about bad people, but my experience is that most people are good people, and I really haven't ran into too many bad people. I haven't had too many bad experiences. Um, I mean, there are definitely bad people. Most of the bad people are gonna simply try to steal your shit when you're not looking. They're not necessarily gonna come and mug you or hurt you or beat you up and take your stuff, but they might watch you from a distance and they might notice that you stashed your stuff in the woods, and then they'll go over there and find your stuff. They like to try to take it from you without a fight, basically. That's most of the bad people. And I've had a few of those kind of people try to get my stuff before, but they couldn't. So there are thieves. Most of these guys are just on drugs. I don't even know if they're really bad people. They're just on drugs. They're normal, good people, and then the drugs totally change who they are, basically. Um, but yeah, you still have to watch out for them. I had a tweaker come up to me, or a guy and this chick who was a tweaker, um, come up to me when I was in Lakeland, and I was sitting there in the woods. I had my shirt off because it was heat of the day, um, and the chick was like in nothing but like a bra or a bikini top, and then had like a pair of pants. And she looked like she was 50, but she was probably 35. She was just tweaked out of her mind, twitching and just nonstop talking. And she wanted to like eye kiss me, which was where she puts her eyeball up to my eyeball. She said that's a thing, and I was like, not interested. And but they were nice. They were totally harmless. And that's actually my experience with most of these tweakers, and is that they're harmless. But yeah, you definitely have to be careful. And like, I was definitely like watching my money and stuff like that. I didn't want them like pickpocketing me or something like that. But they were both, I think, good people. The dude, I don't think he was a tweaker. I just think he was a homeless alcoholic. He had a beer, and they were just whatever reason, just they were going around panhandling and stuff, and they just came over to talk to me and say what's up and hang out, which was cool. And they were actually really nice. And the girl ended up eye kissing me anyway. Like at the very end, when she was leaving, she put her eyeball right up to mine, and I was like, well, it's too late now. She got me, and then she went on her way, and they went on their way. But most people, I just have not ran into too many bad people. Um, there's definitely assholes, but they're not usually going to harm me. They're usually kind of cowardly, and that they'll scream something out their window of their car at me, and then take off driving, and or they'll flick me off or that kind of thing. Or I was hitchhiking yesterday, and people would like ride by with their thumb out just to mock me, and uh, they're I don't even know if they're bad people. That's just how they were just having fun, um, and at somebody's expense kind of thing. But It's not like I've never done that either. So it is what it is. That's not Can't let it bother you. So what else? Hunger, like I said, I just normally I prepare ahead. I make sure that um, I have plenty of food, and I also make sure when I go on Google Maps and I just search grocery or stores or fast food, and I try to like to have a general idea of where my Dollar Generals are at, where my grocery stores, fruit stands, McDonald's, fast food, any kind of fast food place. Because when you got like the National Forest, there's just not a whole lot of that here, but there are some. Like I knew, like I didn't plan here to come here to Astor, but it was a but I knew that there was stores here and supplies here in case I needed to come here, and I did in fact need to come here. I got worn out hiking. I can't go any further. I literally have a hard time standing up right now because my calves are shot. But I'm kind of limping along just real slowly, trying not to walk too much, trying to stay off my feet, but it is hard. I don't really have a place to go. I don't have a couch to sleep on. This would be a good time to have that, where I could just lay on the couch and be a couch potato for a few days because I need to recuperate. But so I'm just trying to take it easy. I think I'm just going to stay around this town and just kick around and not do much. They got this little park here. I'll probably hang out at this park for a while. Like I got Wi-Fi right here on the at the library. So that's good. No, what happened to my tent? I just left it there. It wasn't really mine. I could have took it. Um, they said I could have it, but I didn't want to bring all the extra weight. It's not a bad idea to bring it, but it's like I went probably about 30 miles down that trail and my calves are shot as is. So imagine if I had taken another 5 pounds of gear on my back, my calves would be worse than they are now. Um, so that 5 pounds, I mean, that tent would be extremely nice to have. It could protect me from the bugs. Um, I would actually be more fearful in a tent versus the bears because I can't see them. And they could just slice through with a claw. I could be just sitting in a tent. I can't see nothing, and they just slice with the claw from behind. And they know they have a they know that they said they know that there's the bears have figured out that they slice through a tent and then there's food. So they've actually are trained now to slice through tents and go in and get the food. I would I prefer to. I'm sleeping right on the ground, and I had like a big log, heavy, nice club basically. And so, like, I did have one come up, and I jumped right up, and I was ready to ready to fight or grapple, and basically scare him off. Um, and I got right up and lit my fire. Those are things it's gonna be hard to do in a tent because you're gonna hear a bear out there, and then you're gonna unzip your tent, crawl out. But yeah, a tent is nice to have to get away from the bugs and for protection of the rain. And it's not. I don't blame nobody for getting a tent. I'm considering getting a tent at some point. I just I'm constantly tweaking my gear, or constantly I'm getting rid of something, adding something, getting rid of something, adding something, and I'm trying to figure it out. My main issue lately is right when it gets dark, it's still kind of warm out around here in Florida, and the bugs are out, and so I've been having to get into my blanket and then put my bug net over my head to get away from the bugs, but then I'm getting really hot and sweaty in my blanket, um, and I have to like lift the blanket up and kind of like air it out, bringing in some of the cooler air, because when the blanket's just on top of me, it's great middle of the night, and I've been doing good there because but it's just when it's still warm, I have to get into the blanket because I got to escape the bugs. um, so what would be nice is just a total bug net. But if you're gonna have the total bug net, then just like you might as well have a tarp over it, and at that point you got a tent. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. I can easily just totally get out of the mosquitoes and go out to the desert somewhere as well. And I might do that. So that's another reason why I don't want to go and spend a whole bunch of money on a tent, because the desert, you don't really need a tent. It's not going to rain much. There's not any bugs, or just not like that there are here in Florida or the South. But so I just left it. Where do you get your food? Cheapest places possible. My favorite place is Dollar Tree. I think that they're the cheapest, and then the Dollar General or Walmart. I like to go into like Publix and just find their sales. I try to find things that are on sale and cheap. And what I do when it rains, I try to find shelter. If it rained right now, I would be right over there under that where the picnic benches are at, under that shelter. I don't know if you can see it or not. And I would just be hanging out over there. Um, in town, it's pretty easy to find some sort of shelter. But in the woods, you know, your options are that you have to make like a debris hut or something, which would probably take you about an hour. A lot of palm fronds here in Florida. So that would probably be, I would just lay a stick at an angle, start laying sticks, make like it's a typical debris hut. Just start laying the sticks out and then do palm fronds. Keep it real low, make it as small as possible. And that way it would also give me some insulation. And I think that would take like an hour to do, if I needed to. I haven't had to do that yet. Like I said, I don't go out into the wilderness if I know it's going to rain, or if the weather's predicting it's going to rain. But you do have to be prepared in case the weather's wrong. Mosquito spray, that I will not use DEET because the shit gives me a headache, and I know it's bad. It's bad for you. I can just tell. Like, I never get headaches ever. So when I spray it on me and all of a sudden I get a headache, I can just tell the stuff is poisonous somehow or toxic. It is definitely a toxic substance. Now I'm talking about the 100% DEET. That's what I used that last time, and it really gave me I could just tell it was extremely toxic. It made me feel real bad. And so I definitely would not use DEET, but that Pickardine, I don't know anything about it. I would just have to do research, and that might be something I need to look into. I've also heard of stuff that you could spray on your stuff, like maybe on my blanket or my clothes, some sort of mosquito repellent, and that it would stay on there for like a certain amount of time, maybe a couple months or something, or a few washes in the laundry. So I should look into all that. I just haven't. I've been trying to just. I don't like chemicals. I don't like spraying shit on myself in general. So I don't use the spray, and I try to just go with the bug net. Um, but I end up getting bit. I was getting bit by ticks yesterday. Last couple of days, I've been getting bit by ticks, and yeah, that's no fun. So a tent would probably help with the ticks, and I don't have a tent, so the ticks are on me pretty good. Bunch of small ones, and then there's big ones too. Um, I don't think I have any major issues that I know of, but I guess right in the center of my belly button, I got an itchy tick bite. Um, I should check it again, make sure there's not another tick in there. Anyway, um, how would you be able to get some without money? I have money. I panhandle plenty just so I keep myself with enough money. It's good to have money for emergency situations, motel room, health emergency. I try not to spend money because I'm a firm believer in a penny saved is a penny earned, and it really is. You really earn money when you don't spend money. Um, that's a huge for me. Um, so if you just literally do not spend money, you're making money. That's kind of what one of my major life philosophies, and why I'm such a curmudgeon, or a frugal guy. Probably the most frugal person in this country, in my opinion. I mean, maybe some of those like extreme couponers or something would be more frugal than I am, but I'm pretty darn frugal. I mean, I don't have a single bill, um, and I buy the cheap foods or cheap as possible. I spoil myself once in a while. Don't get me wrong, but okay. Do I have an address? No, but I can always have stuff sent to me, general delivery. Um, from the so yeah, if you just put my name on it, and then it would be general delivery, and then I can go. All I gotta do is go show my ID at the post office and pick it up. That's probably the best way. But I rarely ever get mail. Amazon has Amazon lockers. I'll use that if I need to buy something specific. It's kind of limited. Um, you can only I think, or maybe they changed it, but it used to be only certain sized items. Like it couldn't be too big because won't fit into the locker. But most stuff will fit, and so I order something off Amazon and get shipped to the locker, and then I have to go and get it. And if I don't do that often. All right, so that was all the questions, and I don't know. I don't think I have much else to add. I'm just gonna be taking it easy the next couple days and not doing much. I thought about hitching over to Ocala, um, and checking out Ocala for a while I'm recuperating. I don't think I'll be able to do any hiking for a few days at least. But I'm going to get back out to the trail and do the section from Juniper Springs to Salt Springs uh, as soon as possible. I don't have to be 100% recovered, but just enough to make that journey. And then when I get to Salt Springs, there's a Dollar General there, and then I can recuperate again, and then probably keep on going. I kind of intend to follow the trail in general because it goes all the way through the Panhandle. I haven't looked it up, but I'm pretty sure it goes through the Apalachicola, and I think I want to walk the Apalachicola part as well as I want to check out Pensacola, Mobile, Alabama, and New Orleans possibly. And I'm also thinking of then continuing on to Austin, Texas. Um, that's my general thinking at the moment. Alrighty, thanks a lot, everybody.